I was born in the Eastern European country of Romania. Romania has a pretty rich food culture. I grew up eating a lot of delicious food, but there's one aspect about it that I never really considered until just recently. See, if you look up Romanian dishes on the World Wide Web, you will quickly notice something. Almost, if not all of the dishes contain some form of meat. Cabbage rolls with meat, little meat logs, smoked meat sausages, polenta, topped with meat. And it's all pretty delicious, but growing up with that almost ingrains in your brain that meat and animal products in general are almost necessary for a dish to be complete. And for a long time, I felt that. I thought that was true. Taking the leap to have a fully plant-based diet has always seemed like an impossibility for me because I simply didn't know what the heck I would eat. So that is why, starting right now, I will switch to a completely plant-based diet for 1 week. I want to learn, experiment, and fully immerse myself in the world of cooking and eating vegan food. I don't know what's gonna happen, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to overthink it. So let's just go. I started my experiment with not a lot of planning in mind, to be honest. I kinda dug through my fridge to see what I can use to cook something. Most of the time for lunch I would have a rice bowl with all sorts of toppings on it. But a big part of that is usually the chicken breast that I always use. So I thought, let me just make an easy switch up and use tofu instead of chicken. I determined that this is pretty much the base layer of vegan food. Just eat pretty much the same things except try to substitute the animal products with vegan counterparts. In the upcoming days, my view of this approach was about to completely change, but at this point I was still at level 1. And this kind of approach does seem a little limiting, because really it feels like you're just removing things that you like from your diet, but it doesn't have to be that way. As I went into this week, I was sure of one thing. I don't want anything to do with those fake meats. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna eat this vegan sausage and pretend that it's actual sausage. It's just not. It doesn't work for me. If it works for you, I'm happy, but I had this strong feeling that I wanted to highlight the natural beauty and flavor of plants, vegetables, legumes, mushrooms, all that good stuff. I felt there was so much to explore and I never thoroughly explored it, but I wasn't quite educated enough to know how to move in that direction. Usually I would for sure have some meat here, but this time it's this. This kind of looks chickeny, but it's not, it's tofu, which is fine. I shouldn't try to imitate meat. I feel like there's better ways to cook tofu, but this is the one I know. This week, it's me vegan, bro.
What, all day? All the time?
All the time.
I give that shit fucking 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Challenge accepted. Another issue I encountered in the first day is that I rely on a lot of animal products for snacking. For me, healthy snacking always revolved around some sort of dairy product like yogurt, which here I'm replacing with soy yogurt, and yeah, it's not entirely the same. It's good, but it's not the same. So right away I feel like I need a change in my mentality. I needed my perspective to be opened in a way. Hey, it's so good to see you, man. How you doing?
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? Oh, wait, 1 second. Test. Come on. Test. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now?
Here we go. Yeah, it's working.
Oh my god, dude. This is Julius Fiedler, better known online as Herman. He makes awesome plant-based cooking videos and his food always has this natural, less processed, holistic quality that I was looking to explore, so I wanted to chat with him for some advice.
You know, I really feel like in the Western world, we need a paradigm shift. I think we're also focused on, we love certain foods and we have this nostalgia around food. And now we need to recreate that plant-based. And that makes way for like an industry-led, storm of fake products that are like bombarding our shelves. I think it's the wrong approach. I think there's so much amazing food out there all around the world that is plant-based, that happens to be plant-based. I'm always really hopeful that people sort of shake off the stereotype of what vegan food is like. There's two ways, yeah. Either people say, oh, what do you eat when you're on a vegan plan or on a vegan diet? You eat lettuce, leaves, and broccoli. The other one is you're forcefully trying to use fake meats to replace actual meat. And I think there's a natural way as well, but nobody really talks about it.
I really resonated to pretty much everything Julius was telling me, and I was really excited to start approaching my food with this mentality this week. But first, I had to take care of a few things. I have to go to the grocery store because I realized that so many of the foods that I usually eat are not vegan. Even the ones I didn't consider before. Like there's obvious ones, you know. Look at this. Yogurt, not vegan. Protein pudding, not vegan. Eggs, obviously not vegan. Vegan Philadelphia though, that's vegan. KWOOWK, not vegan. I feel like I say vegan weird. Vegan. Cottage cheese, not vegan. Protein powder, not vegan. I don't do that anymore. Protein cookies, not vegan. Protein bars, not vegan. Well, really anything that has protein in it, which is a little difficult, so I have to go shopping. So let's go. Beans are vegan, I hope. And when it's just me and a can of beans, it's just pure happiness. But sometimes I forget about the truly important things in life, such as calmly eating your beans with a loved one. And I get overwhelmed by stupid things in life. It's very important to take care of our mental health, to remind ourselves that there's always a metaphorical plate of beans just waiting for us out there, but sometimes we just can't see it. Well, today's sponsor, BetterHelp, makes taking care of your mind much more accessible. Therapy is a very, very important tool, even if you're dealing with just the everyday stresses of normal life. The thing about therapy is that sadly it's oftentimes a luxury. It's expensive, it's like a long and messy process to get it, and you might not even like your therapist. The reason I like BetterHelp is because it makes it way easier for you to get access to professional licensed therapists that are trained to listen and give you helpful advice. All you have to do is fill out a basic questionnaire and they match you with a therapist in most cases within 48 hours. It's all online, you don't have to deal with waiting lists, anything like that. You can schedule out sessions whenever you want to, and also you can easily change your therapist at any time if you don't like them. If you feel like you could benefit from therapy, go to betterhelp.com/KWOOWK. You're gonna get a 10% discount with that link, and you also get to support my channel by using it. betterhelp.com/KWOOWK. Thank you, BetterHelp. Let's go back to the video. This is me when I go to the grocery store. It's freaking freezing out here. Off we go. So I don't want this week to be about restriction because, yeah, of course I can make a video and just take out everything that's non-vegan in my diet and call it a day. But I want to diversify and eat a variety of new meals and dishes that I haven't eaten before. So I want to discover new things, and I think there needs to be some effort put into that. My hands are freezing right now. I don't like this vlogging. That's a frozen hand right there. It's so cold, I wish it was not cold. I really didn't feel like talking a lot in the store to the camera. I don't know how people do that. I'm of the firm belief that tempeh is better than tofu. So because I have some leftover rice from yesterday, I'll just make a tempeh fried rice. Why not? The reason I like tempeh much more is mainly because of the texture, but also the flavor is like so much more funky and complex to me. So look at that, we got a nice crispy outside on this side. So now let's flavor it. Some salt, black pepper, and I'm going for like a sweet and sour vibe. So I'm gonna add some soy, some ketchup. That looks really nice. Oh yeah. I feel like I'm getting better at chopping things. On top of this, I'm just gonna tear some oyster mushrooms. I love this stuff too. This is already taking me out of my comfort zone, and I like it. Let me push this to the side, add my rice. Let's also throw in some garden peas, why not? Just a little bit. In the meantime, let me prep my kimchi. Actually, you know what? I'll use the whole thing. I'm so glad I can eat this. It's so good in my mouth. Give it a rough chop, not too like fine. I still want some bits and pieces in there. And honestly, I also want these juices. There we go. Kimchi. Tempeh, soy, my favorite, dark soy. And you know I need some acid in there too. I'm using mirin. I mean, that looks good. I don't think I ever wore a white shirt and it doesn't get a stain when I cook. I don't think that ever happened in my life. Honestly, I'm happy. Oh wait, Camera's crooked. I was gonna say that I'm very happy with this. I have an amazing, nutritious fried rice. I have a vegan protein bar. Found those. My little sparkling water with passion fruit. This is incredible. So things were going pretty great. Although I kind of realized that in order to have this approach to plant-based food, that's gonna require like constant effort. Now my job is basically cooking and making these videos, and I still had a pretty rough time having to spend that long in the kitchen every single day. 2 or more times a day, you know? So it's even more difficult to imagine someone coming back from a tough day working an actual real job than spending like 40 minutes making dinner and then having to deal with all the dishes. That sounds like a little bit of a nightmare. I'm sure there are many ways to do this efficiently and recipes I'm not even aware of, but I found that more often than not, to make veggies very exciting, you need to spend time on them, which is not a bad thing, but it's just an observation. I didn't show it, but I also added some tahini, chili oil, and lime. And this is just amazing. Not pretty, but delicious. Ooh, it's hot. So much flavor. I'm straight veganing, bro. It's going pretty good. It's 1:30 a.m. and I just want to give a quick update on my vegan diet. My farts, they stank. Welcome to Vegan Time Day 3. I don't have a microphone, so it probably sounds like ass. And I'm about to go to a restaurant. It's Friday, I want to satisfy a craving that I have. Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Shit. Freaked me out.
Excuse me, can I ask you something? Give it or take it to the next guy? Take next guy, double it, or take me home?
Double what?
Double whammy.
I'll take you home.
I'll give 14 to the next guy.
What do you have to say?
Tastes good. Meat and cheese.
Meat and cheese?
The anti-vegan cocktail.
2 things I can't eat right now.
Good luck with that shit.
Let's see what came in this package. I want to hit it here. Oh, I hit it directly there.
Yeah. Ah, shit, vegan?
Yeah, vegan.
Ah,
What's wrong with that?
shit.
Yeah. Vegan protein. So just to be clear, me buying this protein powder is out of pure convenience. I know it's not in the spirit that I was talking about, like, you know, it's highly processed, kind of removed from nature, but it just saves me so much hassle in some situations, and I think I have to be realistic here rather than chase some perfect, unattainable lifestyle. Day 3 was also the day I realized that going out with friends who are not vegan can be a little difficult. Like, unless the restaurant puts some specific effort into some true plant-based dishes rather than just seeing it as a special dietary requirement, it's not gonna be the most exciting thing in the world. I woke up at my friend's place and I was like, guys, let me make you some vegan pancakes. Everyone will get breakfast from me. And spoiler alert, these were the worst freaking pancakes I've ever made in my life. Look, that's not a pancake. At that moment, I knew I had to step up my game. Like, I need to stop messing around and get out of my comfort zone, man. So that night, I made something I was actually really proud of. In Romania, we grew up eating this dish that directly translates to rubbed beans. What the heck? Which sounds awful, but it's delicious. You know, hummus, even though it's delicious, it's not the only legume-based dip that you can make. Other legume dips need some shine. So I decided to take a little page out of my own culture and make this white bean spread. It's garlicky, lemony, and a little smoky. And I didn't just stop there. I wanted to make it like a little piece of art, you know? So I roasted some carrots, I cooked some non-Romanian shiitake mushrooms, also caramelized some onions to craft this beautiful plate. Or maybe it's not beautiful, maybe it looks cringe, but the plate represented me in that moment, so at least I was happy about that. Looks really nice.
Whoa.
You like it?
Whoa, this is so pretty. It looks like a painting.
You know what else is pretty? Today's day 5 of my vegan journey, and it's a Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I'm going to grab coffee with my best friend here. It's my girlfriend. Elon Musk is really going crazy with the ads. As Julius advised me, I started looking more into other cultures' approaches of vegan food. Other cultures' approaches? That sounds off. Because there is a lot to learn there. A lot of dishes just happen to be vegan. They're not born as a result of some replacement. And they don't even really need the label of vegan. Mapo tofu is a Chinese dish from the Sichuan region that plays around with flavors that are very new and interesting for my Eastern European palate. This dish comes alive within a spicy sauce that has fermented bean paste as a base, and it notably uses these Sichuan peppercorns, which have this trippy, like, numbing effect in your mouth. Like, it's low-key scary if you don't expect it, but it's almost like an additional layer of flavor, like a different kind of heat. The sauce sometimes does contain meat, but it's often replaced with mushrooms, which is what I did here. But from my personal perception, having had the meat version of this dish, that's not what this dish is about. The star of the show for me is this rich, spicy, fermented sauce, and the way it's being delivered by silky, soft pockets of mild tofu. And that contrast is what makes me so excited about it. And when you eat this, you don't feel like anything is lacking, which is exactly the feeling I was looking for these days. Later that day for dinner, my girlfriend and I wanted a bit of a challenge and tried making this amazing recipe by Chef Yotam Ottolenghi. It's like the perfect amount of effort to feel like you're kind of working on a project together, but it's definitely not so complicated that you want to give up and it's scary. And what I find really cool about it is how it highlights something as basic as a shallot, and it elevates it. It makes it the star, and it's because you put so much care into it. You char it, you slow cook it in this tasty liquid, you surround it with flavor, and you give it these really nice textures. Eating these shallots feels like you're eating a really elegant piece of steak. And I don't mean that at all that it tastes or feels like meat. I mean that psychologically, it's such a main character in the dish. You don't see it as a side, you see it as the thing to enjoy. Day 6 was a bit of a busy full day for me, so it was the perfect time to try to make like a day-to-day dish. One of those dishes that feels approachable, that doesn't require you to take like half of your day off to prep and make. So I got a little inspiration from Indian cooking and decided to make a coconut chickpea curry. And it's only inspiration, okay? This is not an authentic recipe. Day 6 kind of made me think about how important it is to be close to your food. And by that, I mean being aware of the steps that make it possible for you to have this food in front of your face and put it in your mouth. I feel that we're becoming like more detached to where food actually comes from, and we lose that kind of personal relationship with it. It may sound weird, and I'm definitely not the guy who's like advocating for a return to the good old days or anything like that. But in some way, I would love to see a future where we have more respect for our food, and especially towards animal products we may consume.
I think that's what it's all about, respect, because in the moment you realize, there's a life involved, even if you continue eating it, if you respect that, you're never gonna eat it in the same quantity. Eating that becomes way more valuable. Yeah, it's such a holistic way of eating.
And we're finally at day 7, the last day, and I want to make it clear that this challenge ending is not like a relief or anything like that. Like, damn, I couldn't wait for this thing to be over so I can devour an entire cow in one sitting. I felt good. This is day 7, my last day of being fully vegan, and I feel pretty good. So what's next for me? Am I gonna continue to be vegan? Am I gonna go back to my old ways? So I'm not gonna be fully vegan for now, but if anything, this experience has definitely shown me that my view of what I can eat is pretty limited, and there's a whole world out there of different dishes that don't rely on animal products that I like. Yeah, I think my goal is to sometimes step out of my comfort zone and experiment with one of these dishes instead of eating one of my normal everyday meals that require animal products. And slowly, I do want to eat mostly plants. This has been a very good experience for me. I definitely, okay, let me think what changed. I definitely fart more. I don't know if whatever I did benefited my digestion, but it's for sure more active.